Hey everyone, I'm here at the Elfin Forest Reserve in the northern part of San Diego County. Now, when you hear Elfin Forest, you're probably thinking of something from the Lord of the Rings. It's not quite like that. It's actually run by the water company, but their trails here are really well groomed, really well marked, and there's a bunch of different trails. I'm going to take you on probably what's the most popular route up to the Lake Hodges Overlook, which is a really beautiful sweeping overlook onto Lake Hodges, and you can see the reservoir on the other side. And it's about 7 miles out and back, I think about 1,500 feet of climbing. Not too tough, not too easy, not too tough. It's a good, like, in the middle hike, but it is very beautiful. Now, if you want to do the hike, go to HikingGuy.com, where I'll have information on parking, up-to-date conditions on the trails, any closures and that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I'll show you the turn-by-turn directions in this video. Now, if you're watching the video, as always, if you could do me a big favor, click a little thumbs up if you're enjoying it or you find it helpful. That helps other people find this video, hopefully know what to expect when they come out here and be safe. It's an easy way for you to pass it on to other hikers, and it helps me out tremendously. So thank you. Enough of me yapping. Let me show you the directions to do this hike.
All right, so from the parking area, we're going to go to the trailhead. And at the trailhead, there are bathrooms, some trail boards. There's even an interpretive center, so make sure you check all of that out if you can. But at the board here, we're going to make the left. We're going to hike to the left, and a minute or two after going to the left, we're going to make the right. And to the left here is a botanical trail. We're going to go to the right and cross over Escondido Creek, which is right over here. And this is a really peaceful, serene area here with the creek going through. The creek flows all year, unless it's a really bad drought or something. Crystal clear water actually flows out down to the ocean in Encinitas. But from here, we're going to go up on the Way Up Trail. And we're going to be going uphill, hence the name Way Up. But one of the neat things on this trail are these trail markers here on the left that tell you your distance and also your elevation. So as you go, you can get little progress reports as you start hiking uphill. Now, this is an uphill, but it's nothing too crazy. A lot of people do this hike unless you're really out of shape. It's not really going to kick your butt too bad. But you get the views as you go up here, and it kind of winds around the hillside. It's a beautiful hike as you go up, obviously the panoramic views. And then also you can see some of the trees and the dwarf forest, aka Elfin Forest, that this was named after as we go up here. Here's another one of those trail markers telling us the distance and the elevation. Again, really helpful, especially if you're a beginner hiker. Those come in handy as you're going up here. Now at the split, this is the botanical trail that came in from earlier. We saw the split off before the creek, but we're going to make the right past this trail board that has information on keeping your dog cool. Now in the summer, this hike gets really, really hot. I wouldn't recommend it. And in extreme conditions, they'll close the park. So just a heads up. We're going to keep on heading up the switchbacks here. And again, it's manageable. The trail is kind of rocky. If you have trail runners or hiking shoes, that's going to be your best bet here, but you can get away with sneakers if you had to. After about a mile, we're going to get to the Harmony Overlook. You can see down to the San Marcos area and the hills that you've been seeing as you've climbed up here. Now after this, there's still climbing, but it's not as steep as it was beforehand. The trail kind of levels out a little bit. There's a little bit of an incline right after the Harmony Overlook, but it's not so bad. And eventually it will flatten out and you start to get a little bit of a downhill. Now, there's a couple trails off to the right here. We're going to go straight on this main trail. In the video, it doesn't really convey. The main trail, the straight one, is a little bit bigger here until we get to this big junction. Now, if you want to go to the bathroom, there's a little picnic area straight down that trail there. And I love this sign up here. It reminds me of those signs like, Tokyo, 5,000 miles, North Pole, blah, blah, blah. But down that straight path was the bathroom. But to continue the hike, we're going to go up the hill to the left here. This is a wider fire road. We're not going to be on this all the way. It's going to end in a little bit. And there's a little trail off to the left here. You can actually take that. It's a loop trail. It'll rejoin the main trail at the top of the hill. But we'll go straight because we can turn around and start to get our views of the reservoir. This reservoir was completed in 2003. And it's an emergency reservoir for San Diego County. At the top of the hill, you can see that's the trail I mentioned earlier. It comes back in, but we're going to make the hard right And we actually have a little bit of a downhill here until we get to the Escondido Overlook, which we'll see in a second over here. And there's a little pavilion, a little area where you can chill out there on a bench, enjoy the views. Escondido's down to the left, but you can get nice sweeping views of the reservoir. In the distance, you'll be able to see Woodson Mountains, Potato Chip Rock, then Iron Mountain, and Escondido down through the valley there. So soak it in here. We got one more overlook to go. We're going to head down the trail. And the trail is nice. It winds around the reservoir. Really beautiful place up here. Even though it is man-made, it is still a nice place to hike, a little bit different. You don't get a ton of big water here in Southern California. Now, this turnoff is the important one. You're going to make the right. There was a big trail sign there. We're going to continue around the side of the lake here, and you can see we're back on a little trail. And we're going to be on this until we get to the Lake Hodges Overlook. We're going to continue around. The trail goes up and down, and then it comes up to this area. Again, nice views of the reservoir. There's a little sign telling you that everything past here was damaged in a fire in 2007. So everything here is grown back. So please stay on the trail and let the area come back to health. There we can get a little glimpse of Lake Hodges in the distance. Another reservoir. It's actually connected to the reservoir up here with a pipeline. We're going to continue around and look for this trail off to the left here. And it'll point you to the LH Overlook, Lake Hodges Overlook. After a little bit of winding around here, which you'll be able to see the overlook too, you'll come up to these pavilions, and this is the Lake Hodges Overlook. Now, some people continue on and do a little loop up here. You can do that. I included links to the trail maps on the article on Hiking Guy, but otherwise we're going to go up here and check out the view of Lake Hodges, which is right down there. Really sweeping views of the peaks here in northern San Diego County. And yeah, check it out, do the loop, or you just go back the way you came, and that's how you do it.
So that's it. Really, really neat hike. Recommend trying it at least once if you have not already. Now, I'm going to show you what the hike looks like on a map after this. And if you want more information on the hike, just go to HikingGuy.com. All right, guys, I will see you later, alligators. Bye.
All right, so from the parking area right here, we're going to start climbing on the way up trail. And I mentioned the parking area is a little bit small in the guide. You can overflow park over here, but you can see we kind of zigzag up the hill here and climb up. This is the Botanical Loop Trail over there. Zigzag up. Here's the Harmony Overlook, and that looks out towards San Marco, which is right over on this side. If I angle this up a little bit, you can kind of see. There we go. Look at that. You can see right down to there. And then we climb up to the top part. Here's the big intersection. If you need to go to the bathroom's right here. They're just straight right through there. But otherwise, we're going to go up here, up this hill here. Here's that loop I had mentioned earlier. Whoa. And then we just swing around to the Escondido Overlook, which is right there. And there's Escondido in the distance. If I do it around this way, here is the reservoir. We wind down from the reservoir on this main trail. Here's that important turnoff. We go right down here. We loop around a little bit. There's Lake Hodges in the distance. And basically follow this ridge line up top. This is that turnoff for the Lake Hodges Overlook. And then we come around here to the overlook. And I'd mentioned there is a loop trail as well. You can do this loop trail at the end. Some people add this on. They loop back around and come up here, or come around here and loop back up. But those are all options, and that is the hike.